Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Today I am making a beer bread and I think you're going to like it very, very much. Now this is an unusual bread because we have to cook brown rice to put into this bread and we need 1/4 of a cup of brown rice. Now to help you, if you have a 1/8 inch measuring cup, dry measuring cup, you use that with some water and just cook it till it's done and you'll have your 1/4 cup of rice, which I have right here. I just finished cooking my brown rice. What this has in it, it sounds so good. Like I said, I am running out of bread. Now to this, we're going to add 1½ teaspoons of salt. I don't think I have that much here, so I'll have to use regular salt and make more. Well, I don't think there's a teaspoon in there. Just 1/2. No, that's not going to work. I have to use regular salt. I told you I'm just running out of everything. I'm going to have to start making stuff today. You're going to need 1 tablespoon of wheat bran. As you can see, this is a nutritious one. You don't have to add much to this recipe. You got the bran, you got the brown rice, they're covering everything. You need 2 tablespoons of light or dark brown sugar. I'm going to use dark because I have an open package of dark. I tell you, my Instagram is just loaded with people who make things in 5 minutes. I'd like to see somebody go in the kitchen and make something in 5 minutes, I tell you. Then I see the older cooks, and they know what they're doing. Our cooking, we have become so separated from cooking that if anything happens, I mean, we're really going to be up the creek without a paddle. All right. Let me see if this rice is cool enough. If it's not. Okay. I want to add the yeast in here, but I have to make sure that this rice isn't too hot. I'll show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like so far. Just mixing it up and trying to cool the rice down. This is only going to make 1 loaf, and it will be a 1 pounder, which is an 8½ by 4½ inch loaf pan. To let you know ahead of time. Oh yeah, that's 1. Now we are going to add 2 and a. If you have packaged yeast, just 1. But if you have it like this, it's 2 1/4 teaspoons. And do check those packages and dates. If you don't, this is going to fail because your yeast will not be fresh. And I've been caught too many times and had to bring it to stores' attention. You're selling outdated here. You can't do that. Now, we need ale. Guinness is an excellent ale. They don't recommend a light one. They say a very strong one. And this is very strong. Be careful how you open it because you'll want to seal it back up. Now when you pour this, you can't measure the foam. You're going to have to get the liquid. So you got to pour it on the side because you need a whole cup of this. So pour it at an angle so you don't build that foam up because you're not going to count the foam in your measurements. Like I said, if you cook with liquor, you do not have to worry. The alcohol will be cooked out. Okay, now that's 1 cup. You see how I poured it without the foam? Pour that in. Oh, you can pour it hard if you want then. And you need 1/4 of a cup of buttermilk to go with this. Like I told you, it's very interesting. And I'll be making more buttermilk. And it's just 1/4 of a cup of this. Okay, I'm going to pick it up because this is where we're going to start working it. Okay, so you can see this is what it looks like with everything added to it. You're going to be using bread flour for this, so it's going to be a more of a chewy bread. This is not going to fit. We're going to add 1 cup at first, and we're going to beat it. What am I using this spoon for? I need a bigger spoon. Another cup. Now we're going to be moving to the counter and kneading this. Now they want you to knead this bread for 10 minutes. I'm going to have to get some more flour. Let's see. Okay, that's just about a cup. I will be back because I need more flour. Now, if you're not doing this by hand and you're doing it by machine, they say point blank, you still are going to have to run the machine 10 minutes. So either you knead it by hand 10 minutes or you run the machine 10 minutes. You're going to have to. 10 minutes is their limit. They said it has to be. That's the minimum. And since I'm doing it by hand, I'll be kneading it. I might need another 1/2 cup of flour. They say 3½ cups, but this is 3 cups so far. So we'll see if it takes 3½. Boy, can you smell that beer. All right. What you have to do is put hot water in your bowl because we're going to be rising it in this bowl. You can hear the water running. So if you're kneading by hand or machine and you see that it needs more flour, you can add up to another half a cup of flour. Now I am going to be kneading this like I told you. You have it here, make a quarter turn, come down with your palms, fold it over and push. That's what you're doing, folding it over and push. And what it does is it slowly is going to pick all this flour up. So I'll see you in 10 minutes. Okay, I have been kneading a little over 10 minutes and here it is. That's what it looks like when you're done kneading. This is what they call smooth, though you can see the little rice particles and stuff. That is what they mean when they say smooth and elastic. That's what it looks like. Now get your bowl washed in hot water. You want it as hot as you can get it. No, this one's too cold. Okay. Pour some oil in your bowl. Grease your whole bowl on the inside. Because what you're going to do is prevent it from sticking or from the dough drying out. Put it upside down, you twist it, then flip it over. Now this is the first time I've had a recipe tell me they want me to put saran wrap over this. I usually just put towels, but for some reason they want saran wrap. You're going to put this in a warm spot. Now you notice how we're having to cover this one up? That's because it's not a sourdough. Alright, now this we're going to have to let it rest and rise for about an hour, hour and a half. Or because the weather's a little cool, it might take longer. It might be shorter if it's hot where you're at. It's just going to depend upon the weather and how warm your kitchen is or wherever you put it. So I will see you later when it's time to take care of it. Okay, now this is going to be a side note. My son, let me tilt you down so you can see some what I've got. I've got a half a gallon jar here. Now my son bought me some strawberries because like I said, they don't leave me anything in my yard to eat. Now you know if you leave them like this, they are going to rot very quickly in the refrigerator. If you leave them out, they're going to rot a lot. All what you have to do is get a jar. I'm using a half gallon mason jar. If you want them to last for weeks, very carefully put your strawberries into the jar, just like this. They will last for weeks in your refrigerator, and you won't have to worry about rushing to use them in a hurry. It also works with raspberries, blueberries, boysenberries, blackberries, any kind of berry, elderberry. This is how you preserve them. If you want to use them fresh, but you can't get to them at that day, just put them in here like this. You don't have to worry. This is what I do. Oh, I'll get to these. I'll make a strawberry shortcake. And I also use these in salads and stuff, so they will be used. And since I'm taking the leftover chicken from the chicken that I did yesterday, I'll use some of these strawberries today because I'm going to make a salad. And we're going to have the chicken salad. Oh, and these crackers I found. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Anyway, there. I've packed my strawberries. These I'm leaving out for today because I plan to use them today. I know, because of what I just did, I have exactly 2 to 3 weeks before these go. So this is how you preserve your strawberries. Just a side note. Okay, the bread has risen, doubled. Save this saran wrap because we're going to have to oil it and use it again. A nice beard smell to it. Now you're going to need this a bit. Let me pull you down. You don't need to see me as much as you need to see what's being done. I'm not using any water. I'm just going to work some of this oil in so we can get it to stick together. And we'll shape, and I'll show you how to shape. These are skills you need before we get into the sourdough, how to do all of this if you've never made bread before. Now this is an old bread recipe, as you can see. Okay. See how it's not quite sticking together? That's why I'm kneading it, that oil in, so we can, when I go to roll it and pinch it, it'll stick better together. Sort of going to make an oval. Well, not really an oval, a rectangle. This is 8.5, so you want it to fit here. See, let me move further back here. I'll either pick you up so you can see more. See? So I'm going to roll it out so it fits here. Just about. So it's like an oval. And then you start rolling it tight. Now you got to pinch these seams and make sure they stick. Because if you don't, when you go to cut it, it's just going to fall apart, and that's not what you want. Sometimes I get breads that don't want to stick, and I have to pinch them twice as much. Now you're going to put seam side down and lay it in. See? Just like that, you lay it in. Now let me get the oil, and I'll be right back. Okay, I need you here. Now the saran wrap that you have, lay it out And you're going to pour some oil on it and oil it. I wouldn't go all to the edge because I think it's more just to cover here the bread so it doesn't stick to the bread when you take it off. But, oh yes, it probably will. Now, as well as saran wrap, I'm going to lay a towel over this, put it back in a warm spot. Now, when that bread gets up to the saran wrap and it's still rising, I'll probably take the saran wrap off and let the towel just hold it as it keeps growing till it's doubled. Let's see how long this will rise. Oh, hold on. Do not put the saran wrap on tight. They say lay it on very gently, so it's evident the bread's going to rise with it. Remember when I said that? You just want you to lay it on like that and just let it go up loosely. Okay, now they say this should take 1.5 hours, and then after that, we're going to sit there and you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Then you're going to bake the loaf 45 minutes until it's a golden brown, and then when you tap the bottom, it sounds hollow. Remember when I told you you had to learn that skill? That's a skill you have to learn. Now remember to remove the loaf from the pan and put it on a rack to let it cool, and turn it on its side when you do that, because if you put it upright, it'll collapse. You have to turn it on its side so it can cool all the way around. Do not leave it in the bread pan, because if you do, it will go back to dough. And that's what we have to do. So when the bread is completely done and it's cooling on the rack, I'll be back. Okay, I turned my oven on to 350, waiting for it to hit that temperature. I'm going to show you what double is. First I'll show you, I've got the saran wrap on it. Just peel it off, just like that. You can throw this away, you don't need it now. Now, how can you tell when bread is doubled or when it's ready to go into the oven? I'll show you. You take a look, see how it is? This bread is ready to go into the oven. So I turn the oven on. Now we just have to wait for it to hit 350, and we'll be cooking it. What did I say, 45 minutes, I think? Can't remember. Because I'm doing so many things at once. Yes, we're going to cook it for 45 minutes. That's what it looks like. I'm just going to wipe the oil off because it did run on the side just a bit. And I don't want my oven any dirtier. I'll be cleaning it soon enough. So now you know what it means when the bread is ready. This is what it should look like to go into the oven. Okay?